Welcome back to the We Care podcast. I'm Jordan Vaughn, nurse practitioner.
And I'm Molly Cooey, RN with We Care. Today we are diving into a highly requested topic, medical weight loss. And more specifically, the medications we use daily in our office. Phentermine, semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide, and lipotropic injections. If you've been wondering which one is right for me or what's the difference, then this episode's meant to give you some clarity. First, can we talk about how weight loss is not just about willpower?
Yes, of course. So there's multi-factors, that goes into it, like your hormones, your stress, sleep, gut health, genetics matter. So like your genetics, they can predispose you to, weight gain and multiple metabolic diseases. Your metabolism in your 30s, 40s, 50s, it's just not the same as, when you're in your 20s.
Right. And you could be doing all the right things and still not see progress without some medical support.
Exactly. And that's where these medications really come in. A lot of people think they're shortcuts, but they are tools and they are going to just help your body respond the way that it should naturally. And then one of the ones that kind of gets skipped over now is the old school phentermine. And I still like to use that in my toolbox here at We Care too, just because it controls hunger so well. It really helps energize people, just kind of breaking that food noise. It's just a really, really good medication, even though it's old school. So that's one of my favorites in the toolbox too.
Right. It's really good for those people who graze all day,
Yes.
stress eat, crave carbs at night. They usually do really well on it. But it's not for everyone. People
Absolutely.
with uncontrolled blood pressure, anxiety, or heart issues, they might not be a good candidate.
That's true. And that's why, when you come in here, we do a full set of vital signs and we're getting your history and all of that because it is not safe for everyone. But if you are monitored correctly and by a medical provider, it can be safely used. But it is perfect for that appetite control, somebody who just needs kind of like a quick start to weight loss. They are doing all the right things and they're just not seeing, the results they want. And they still feel like they have that food noise and want a snack. That's when I would like to use it.
So next up, let's talk about semaglutide.
So this was a big one. The semaglutide was, and when it first came out, I feel like it's been 3 years, maybe 4 years ago now. And
Might be 4 now.
Patients were coming to me and they were like, do you have Wegovy? Do you have Wegovy? And at that point, I had not done, a whole lot of research on it. And so I started researching Wegovy and Ozempic. And the biggest thing that we were seeing with that was just side effects. So I was kind of nervous to bring it on, in the We Care clinic for the nausea and the vomiting and, some of the side effects and then how expensive it was.
Right.
So I guess it was about 3 years ago now, we did bring on the semaglutide and we didn't see that many side effects with it because we were, low dosing it. We were starting slow. We were really monitoring these patients. So I don't think we saw as many side effects as they were reporting. And it really was helping patients, with their PCOS and just metabolic stabilization. And just those patients that said, I've tried everything, they actually started to lose weight. So I really, really like semaglutide.
I think part of the problem when that first came out too is that it wasn't easily accessible in
Yes.
the pharmacies. And so you had a lot of medical providers that, they don't have this dose in stock. We'll just order this dose for you.
That's
and
true.
so there was a lot of that going on, which is how, this came into the compound pharmacies
Yes.
too. But
So that's one thing that people don't understand about why the compounding pharmacies couldn't get it for so long, or there was that little pause in it because originally they were able to compound it because they didn't have available doses. So most compounding pharmacies, you cannot give an exact copy of a medication that is mainstream, Eli Lilly, some of the other ones, they have basically have a patent on it. So the only way they allow that compounding to happen is if it's on a shortage, or they can't, manufacture it, fast enough.
Right.
So they allow them to compound an exact copy. So then once they got all of their supply built back up, they wanted to stop the compounding pharmacies from being able to do it. But with all of the lawsuits and all of that, it's been dropped recently. So that's been awesome for us.
Great news for us.
Yes.
All right. So let's move on to tirzepatide, also known as Mounjaro or Zepbound.
So tirzepatide come out just a little bit after, the semaglutide. It has been amazing, and it's one of my personal favorites for metabolic dysfunction. It actually works on 2 receptor sites, where semaglutide is just a GLP-1. It mimics that hormone and works on that receptor site. And tirzepatide, it works on 2 receptor sites. So you have your GLP-1 and GIP. It leads to better blood sugar control. It has a lot less side effects than semaglutide. So I would say, like, in our practice with the semaglutide, we would have patients, probably 40% of the patients would be like, I'm nauseated. Some of them have a little bit of vomiting right when they change their dose. Tirzepatide, I would say maybe 5% say they're nauseated, but it is not a big, issue with that medication. Also, in the studies with tirzepatide, there was a 22% body fat reduction of total body fat, where with semaglutide, it was only like 15 to 18%. So that's a pretty big difference. So it definitely does work better.
I feel that way too. That's what I see, in the Rome patients too.
Yes.
They just tolerate that tirzepatide much better, and it just has much better sustainable weight loss.
Yes.
So let's kind of touch on the new medication that's coming down the pipeline that everybody's been talking about, retatrutide.
Retatrutide, it is the newest, it's the strongest, but it is a peptide-based weight loss. It is not FDA approved yet. So that's kind of been the conversation that you have to have. Like, some compounding pharmacies are compounding it, but it is not officially FDA approved. The studies on this medication are incredible, and I cannot wait till it does come mainstream and everybody, really gets to hear more about it. It works on 3 receptor sites. So GLP-1, GIP, and it is also working as a glucagon receptor agonist too. So triple action, it means that the patients can expect faster weight loss, higher metabolic burning. They are increased in their insulin sensitivity, and it has a really strong appetite control. And we've also seen, just like in the research, that patients are not seeing as much muscle loss as they are with the other 2.
That is amazing, because the muscle loss, when people are not focusing on their diet and exercise and protein, is rough. But yes, I love how much we are already seeing from the research on the retatrutide. I think it's going to have great possibilities.
Yes, that's incredible. I do want to say, with the retatrutide, I think that from what I've seen, it seems to work really well in low doses. Like, some people want to go, straight to the high doses of medications, but if you start low with that one and really focus on your protein intake, I do feel like it's the best one out there for sure.
So all of these are, amazing clients for patients. But how are you choosing which weight loss tool to use for a patient?
So if I'm seeing a patient, I am getting a full history on the patient. We have a full weight loss chart that we're going to have them fill out as soon as they come in. So I'm going to know, if they have any medical problems, what other medications they're on, what have they tried, what does their diet look like, what does their exercise look like. So all of those things are coming into play of when I'm choosing the medication. So, and finances too. So just talking to patients about their finances. They are very expensive, but semaglutide seems to be the most affordable option for some, and some they don't need a whole lot. So I might go to phentermine, because that is a cheaper option. If I have somebody that they need to lose a little bit of body fat, but they're not wanting to lose a lot of their muscle, and they're in the gym, they're really focused on protein, I think retatrutide might be the best option for them. Or if they failed the others, that might be where we would go as well.
Okay. So I got a little bit ahead of myself asking you, how you choose that. But I do want to make sure that we highlight lipo-B injections as well. So can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Yes. So I like to use lipo-B in conjunction with my phentermine, or sometimes I use it alone. But the lipotrophic injections, they are like a liver detox. They're working on fat metabolism, energy levels, mood. So this is for someone who wants more of an amino acid and a vitamin support versus actually taking a medication. We use a compounded version of lipo-B from Empower Pharmacy. It has B vitamins in it, B12, methionine, inositol, and choline. Like I said, those are really just working on fat metabolism and liver detox. But it also really helps just energize the patients too. So sometimes I like to get it for a little boost of energy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the patients always, enjoy having that little boost of energy, and it can help sometimes on our GLP-1 patients too, because there can be a little bit of an energy decrease.
Yes, and
really
it is
like the
safe.
24 hours after, and it's safe to be able to take with that.
Yes.
So before we jump into a little bit of like our myth busting, I wanted to talk a little bit about my personal weight loss journey. So when I started with We Care, gosh, I can't believe it's been almost 3 years now. But semaglutide was the only option we had at that time for weight loss. And so I started on those injections, and I was pretty slow with how I moved up on the doses because I struggled to tolerate semaglutide. That one was rough for me. Never even made it to probably, I don't think I even managed to tolerate the 2 milligram dose of that medication. So I was always on lower doses of the medication and just felt tired all the time, kind of headaches. But I was having great weight loss. So it was one of those things where I was like, well, I'm just going to suck it up and keep pushing through this. But it was really nice when the tirzepatide became available to us because, oh my gosh, now I could continue the weight loss. I could eat better because I wasn't feeling so horrible all the time, and just tolerated that medication so much better. I did add in some of the lipo-B injections at different times, just for that little energy boost when I needed it occasionally. But I think it was over probably about a year and a half where I lost that, I think initially the 60 pounds.
That's incredible.
And then with using the kind of microdosing the retatrutide, the past few weeks, I've kind of pushed it another 10 pounds.
That's awesome.
But oh my gosh, I feel so much better, look so much better, able to keep up with my kids so much easier because they are in and out of everything. And oh my gosh, that energy level that I have now is wonderful. So I'm just thrilled that was, something I was able to do. And
yes, you've done an awesome job. And honestly too, like you've got to say, like, it wasn't all the medication either.
Right.
You've worked really hard with your diet.
Yes.
I mean, meal prepping,
Yes.
doing all the things. And a lot of people, they forget about that part.
Right.
They want to just hop on a medicine that's going to help them lose weight. But our patients who are really dialed in and they have worked with us and that coaching and the nutrition support, I mean, that's where the weight loss really comes in when you're using this as a tool.
Right.
And that's what you've done.
And I really benefited too when my husband was going through, I know I brought that up a little bit during when we talked about peptides, but when he was going through his fitness and nutrition coaching, I really got to benefit a little bit more from the nutrition coaching that he was receiving too. Because it was really nice for us to kind of dial in together. So we were both doing the same things. It made it a lot easier. And then we, the kids ate a little bit of what we were doing, but of course they're kids too. So we still let them have some of their, normal fun kid stuff. Yes. But I will say, like, there's so many resources out there for, tips and tricks for protein. And some of my favorite recipes that I've even come up with, or I haven't come up with, but have put together, were from TikTok. Yeah. So don't, just think everything that you see on TikTok is just crazy and fake. But some of those nutrition people out there are really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
So let's go into our myth busting.
All right.
Myth number 1, GLP-1s make you lose weight without having to change your habits.
Well, that's what we were just talking
Yes.
about. GLP-1 support and it supports appetite regulation. But the sustainable weight loss, it is still going to rely on your nutrition, your exercise and activity, and really consistency as well. The meds, they're just there to assist, and they're not there to take over.
All right. Myth number 2, all GLP-1s work the same.
All GLP-1s do not work the same. Like I said, semaglutide, it works on the GLP-1 receptors. The tirzepatide works on GLP-1 and GIP receptors. And then the retatrutide is working as a triple agonist, and it is the GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon.
All right. Myth number 3, once you stop GLP-1s, all of the weight comes back.
Okay, so you can say kind of, because if someone is not changing their habits and they've lost all of this weight, but they continue to eat the way they wanted to eat, it's probably going to come back. Now, if someone has been training, they are focusing on protein, and they have had a full lifestyle change, then the weight is not going to come back.
Myth number 4, GLP-1s cause muscle loss no matter what.
Muscle loss on a GLP-1 only happens if they are not focusing on protein. They are not doing resistance training. Let's say they're just running and doing cardio nonstop, then you may see a little bit of muscle loss. But with proper support, muscle preservation, it's totally possible.
All right, last myth, number 5, you will be on these meds forever.
That's a big question. Not everybody will be on GLP-1s forever. Some choose long-term, choose these medications long-term because they want that metabolic stabilization, or patients who are type 2 diabetics and they really need that insulin support. They would stay on these medications at a low dose forever, but it's individualized care for sure.
Perfect. So, just kind of touching again, weight loss is complex, but the good news is that you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help.
That is true. So whenever you're deciding like on a weight loss medication, and if it's something that you're thinking about, we have many options at WeCare. And if you just feel stuck, we can definitely help you, whether it be appetite control, or if it's needing that energy boost, or just to lose a couple of pounds. We're here. We can help them. Just come on our way.
All right, so that's going to conclude our intro to the medical weight loss today. So make sure to subscribe, share this episode, and follow We Care Health and Wellness for more behind-the-scenes content and education. And don't forget that at the end of the day,
We care.